Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Only Options Trades, where we specialize in the education of stocks and options. Give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, he eats for life. All right, so today I want to go over just a few things: trend, 50% retracement levels, and the Fibonacci. Okay, so I've taken the liberty to go ahead and draw out some of these examples so that I can just jump right into it. All right, so first thing I want you guys to notice here. I've got circles and I've got squares, and then I have a trend line. The easiest way for me to explain trend analysis is basically determining, first of all, you draw a trend line and you try to incorporate bodies of all the bottoms. Right, so it looks like I've got at least two areas here, the very bottom here and then this one here, that help to determine the trend direction. The other thing that I would recommend everyone pay attention to is the fact that when there's a certain trend going up or down, you look at higher lows, which are the circles, and higher highs, which are the squares. This is a good indicator on the trend direction and continuation. Now, once that trend gets broken by, say, a lower low and then a lower high, something along the lines of this right here. So let's say something does like that. That would be a lower high and a lower low. That is a change in trend direction, right? Okay, so moving on to 50% retracement levels. So this is J&J. It basically has a perfect 50% retracement level. And the way I draw the Fibonacci here, and do keep in mind the 50% retracement is not a Fibonacci level, but I use the Fibonacci retracement drawing on TOS to help me draw it out, right? Um, Once you've done this plenty of times, you'll be able to just eyeball it and know that it's right around the 50% level. But anyhow, I always draw at the very bottom of the wick and the very top of the wick. And I go to the low and then to the high. And it has to be a single wave, right? This is a single wave here. When you draw out a Fibonacci, it must be an entire wave. I think any other way, I mean, you could do it differently. You could do it other ways, but I think this is the easiest to understand. And also, at least for me, it works the best. So I basically started at the low, drew the high, and then the retracement here for J&J hit the 50% level, and then it went back up again. Now, sometimes this can be a continuation and break above the most recent high. With J&J, it looks like it's not necessarily doing that, but it may. Right? So just keep that in mind. This stuff is there's no silver bullets, but there are things out there that can help you determine trend direction, retracement levels, and support levels. And Fibonacci is basically a support level indicator, right? And I typically like to use these when when something's broken below its lowest low or goes above its highest high. It's easier to start finding levels that don't exist, right? So now I'm going to go into Fibonacci 23.6 retracement, right? So let me just grab my circle here. This is going to be the 23.6% retracement. Again, notice that I started at the bottom of the wick, went to the top of that particular wave, and then you can see here on the 23.6, it basically used it, right? It's not perfect, but it's very close. And then as you can see, it continued to make uh, higher lows and higher highs, right? And again, a higher low. And this high is technically higher than this one, but it's very close to it. So this could potentially be a double top. But anyhow, we're not going over chart patterns. We're just doing Fibonacci's. So moving on to the 38.2% level. Let me go a little bit closer in on this one so you can see it. Let me just clear out a couple other drawings like this. Okay, so this one's a 38, and you can see here, again, you draw, and I actually do this on a larger time frame, so it's not perfect when you go closer in. And I could perfect it. I could make it a little bit different or more specific, but generalized typically works, as long as it's very close in relativity. But as you can see here, the 38.2% level, it bounced off of it and it went back up. And now, we kind of got some consolidation on JMPR. So it seems to be like a strong resistance level right here. Right. So we've had the stock bounce off of that particular area once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. So to me, this says that we might see some reversals here. And when you got a lot of testing a specific resistance level and it doesn't break through, there's a lot of strength there. So keep that in mind as well. All right, and now I'm going to go to the 61.8% level. All right, so this is LMT. There's a 61.8%. So again, drawn from the bottom of the wave to the top, it falls down to 61.8 and then starts its way back up. So each one of these Fibonacci levels, they're pretty strong, I would say. There are times when something touches it, goes up, and then breaks through it. And, that's where, excuse me, where trend analysis comes into play. If you can determine the trend direction, then you can determine whether or not these Fibonacci levels are going to be strong or not, right? I mean, if you've got a downward trend, the chances are the Fibonacci support levels may get some pressure and get broken through, right? And finally, I'm going to go over the 78.6 level, right? So let me just zoom back out since I was doing this. Okay, so again, started from the bottom of this wave, went to the top. And the retracement here is down to the 78.6 level. Now again, this isn't perfect, but it's really close to it. I'd say majority of the movement of this stock around this area is on the 78.6 level line. So do keep that in mind, and as you can see here, it ripped back up. So it's also important to note that what is the entire market doing? What time of the year is it? Is it like right now? Right now is December, so it's pretty bullish month for the most part. So I'd say a lot of things are going to be bullish. So with that being said, you want to kind of take that into account. And if you see some kind of level like this, getting a lot of movement in one area, like kind of sideways, but volatility. There's definitely volatility here, but it is sideways, right? So in this period of the year, you kind of want to expect some kind of movement back up, right? I mean, October, this is October right here. Typically in October, you start to see the market come back to life, middle to late, somewhere around maybe November, right? So there is no specific time. It all varies in ranges. Each industry is different than the other. But generally speaking, you're going to typically see things come back to life middle October and November. And then it's just going to be usually bullish through middle of January. And then, you get some situations where some stocks, they start falling or becoming really very neutral. And some continue up, right? There's industries that lag behind others. But ultimately, as they all hit their highs, some hit their highs and go neutral, and then the ones that haven't hit their highs yet, they tend to hit their highs, then go neutral. Once they all hit neutral, I expect to see a pullback and some bearish time, right? So do keep that in mind when you're doing analysis, especially chart analysis. Um, it is very important to know these things and recognize them, right? Have them in the back of your mind so that you're not just trading based off of, you know, what the chart says. You actually have some other things in mind, and you kind of want to add those to it, like a checklist. Create a checklist and a strategy so that you can make the most informed decision when it comes to getting into a position, right? Now, as always, if you guys like this video, you thought it was informational and helpful, please subscribe and like so that I can get the video out to others to help other folks educate themselves because that's what we're all about here at Only Options Trades. Um, and if you do check out the description, if you're interested in Only Options Trades, we have quite a few analysts. Head Trader is really awesome. So we have a lot to offer, and I think we offer a lot more than a lot of other places, right? I mean, some people will be overly satisfied, some will be just satisfied, some won't be. Can't please everybody. But again, like I said, our main goal here is to educate people. We don't necessarily put out alerts just to put money in your pocket, even though that's always nice. What we really try to do is educate folks so that they can go and do it on their own. So they don't need an alert channel or a server to just tell them when to get in and out of a position, right? All right. Well, thank you for watching the video, and I hope to see you back.